The good news is you're not alone. Understanding more about your retirement account and learning the skills needed to make competent decisions could put your mind at ease. So why is there such a big gap between the returns of the financial institutions and the average investor? Investing is a learned skill just like anything you've done in the past. This is Joshua David, host of the Retire Young radio show, on a mission to teach valuable investing skills to average investors. I'd like to personally invite you to a free introductory trading and investing class right here in the Metro to introduce you to the different techniques and concepts that the institutions use, which the average person doesn't even know is available. Call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. In these free classes, you'll see how the financial markets really work, especially in your retirement accounts. Don't be afraid to learn something new. Be terrified that you didn't. Call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. Or go to learnwithota.com.
Welcome back. Junkies on 106.7 The Fan. We are live on NBC Sports Washington. Valdez, I wanted to get a recap. After the show, you went on Coach G's show to talk about Raven Survivor.
Oh, yeah, right at 10 o'clock.
He was reveling in his crown, which, look, that thing was close. It was close. He ended up winning, but it wasn't like he won by a lot. He had to win on that last question, and he slightly maybe had better presentation than you.
Right.
But he ended up getting the win. How'd it go?
I thought the hit went great. Glenn's really nice, by the way.
He is a nice guy.
He's butt nice. And, he reminded me of the times, when he would fill in for Pete at 5 a.m. for the updates, and, he didn't have a key card, and I got to let him in the building at 4:50 when I roll in. And then, but the hit went well. He bragged a lot. But he deserves it. He won fair and square. It's just the luck of the draw. And he said he's open to a rematch. So
really?
Yeah. So
that's pretty good.
If we're struggling for content, maybe we can do it during bit season or something.
Let's wait until March.
Yeah.
I think we got to find something that Drabby is hot in. And then try to take him down.
I will say I put my stones on the line.
Yeah, you did.
I tried to back up my talk. No, I didn't. But at least I tried.
I was very impressed with the very first question that you guys nailed all of the 10.
I know when we did that. I said, "Here we go."
Yeah, that was trouble, right? That was trouble.
And then I knew, and then it was just luck of the draw because I knew a lot of the guys' questions that they got, and then some of them said that they didn't know ones that I got, and vice versa. So it was just the luck of the grab bag.
You got a tough one on Lane College.
I know. Well,
and it was kind of in
it was in the deep
recesses,
yeah.
right? Because you said Tulane, and I had to hear it again. I was like,
no, you can't give him that.
Well, that's a lot harder because, and trust me, I was thinking about it all day. It was a lot harder because that's the free agent signing, both Bernard Pollard and Jacoby Jones, and you remember the colleges when the players are drafted by the Ravens. Mm-hmm. It's just easier to remember. Right. You remember the draft. But free agency, it's a little harder.
It's a tougher ask.
Right. Because we didn't.
That where are they from category, which was from the Super Bowl winning season, 3 of the guys were on the offensive side of the ball, and 3 of the guys were on the defensive side of the ball. And some of them were probably admittedly harder because one of the guys was from Washburn College.
Yeah, but he was drafted by the Ravens, so you remember that a lot better.
Right. But it was random. So
yes, I know. But I'm taking my lumps.
Yeah. I thought you represented yourself well, even if you finished in third.
I will say it made it a lot easier pill to swallow that the segment went really well.
Yeah,
I was
Look at you, Kate. I love it. You're always just putting the show ahead of everything. I love it.
Yeah, Drab and I were worried because you think about it, we're doing Ravens trivia, 2 segments in the 8 o'clock hour in Washington D.C. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not a good recipe.
No, but it hammers home. Yeah,
but it was about the competition.
Yeah, that it doesn't matter the content. It's just if it's interesting.
Yeah, and so the fact that it went well made it a little easier to stomach.
Right.
Well, I know that the Washington
we got a lot of
fans,
response about it.
Oh no, people liked it. No doubt.
I know that the Washington football team fans hope that this Sunday goes well against the Giants, and if it doesn't. Oh, my goodness. We were saying, is it going to be rock bottom? I don't know. They've had so many rock bottoms over the years.
Well, again, I don't want to blame. I don't want to just make the sole factor, like, do they win or lose? They just have to play well.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned. They have to play well. And if they lose on a field goal at the end, well, that's just life. But they need to play much better. That's what that's how low the bar is for me. They just have to play well.
I think
competitive.
offensively you have to show some signs of life. So you can't have 2.2 yards per pass, which is what Alex Smith had. And Kyle Allen had the one drive where they scored, but they need to show something offensively. And then defensively, they've given up over 30 points per game for 4 straight weeks. They're
Right.
playing against an offense. How many touchdowns do they have, Cakes?
I think it's 5 through.
They don't have many.
No, it's 6 through 5 games, and one of them is a defensive score.
Right, so you're playing against an offense that's pretty anemic. You got to hold them in check. If it ends up being similar to the weeks before, well, then it's full-on disaster.
I think it's going to be better. I actually think they're going to play better.
Daniel Jones has 2 passing touchdowns.
Yeah,
I mean, think about how many Russell Wilson has.
right,
About 19, 20? I don't know. Jones has 2.
right.
I think
And he's got
Russell
a lot
Wilson
of
has 19.
turnovers. He loves to give the other team the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he does. So that's the thing. If you can get to him, so this defensive line has to play well, Bick. They do.
Yeah.
This week they got to play well. They got to get to him because if you get to him, he's going to turn the ball over.
I don't know if you guys saw the article on our buddy Larry Brown's sports blog, and he has 5 players that could be traded as the deadline approaches. He's
saw
got
that.
2 of them from Washington in their top 5, right? The first name I saw, it kind of took me back for a moment, but I thought about it. You know what? You're probably right. Ryan Kerrigan. He's
Yeah,
got
makes
Ryan
sense.
Kerrigan as one of the top 5 guys. After the first week, he's been quiet, and it's towards the end of his career. There's no question about it.
He's also not playing that much. He gets
Right.
in about roughly 35% of the snaps.
Right. So he could be an asset maybe for a team that needs a little help with the pass rush, and then of course they have Dwayne in there. Of their 5 guys, they are most likely to be traded. So, kind of
That's it.
interesting. Also, another interesting nugget. I don't know if you guys saw. I don't know how to pronounce the name, so I don't want to do it. But in the Post yesterday, there was an article about Alex Smith's leg and the prosthetic or whatever. I don't know if that's the correct word, but the brace that he wears for the drop foot.
Right.
And it's really crazy. I didn't realize this. So Michael Porter actually in the NBA has the drop foot too. And I think they think his might come back. It's like a nerve injury. And so, it's like Peyton Manning's noodle arm. Eventually the nerve comes back. But with Alex's, because he had the 17 surgeries, they had to take that nerve out. I don't think there's any hope of that being fixed. So he has to wear this prosthetic, and it's like, that's a career ender.
Yeah.
It's just a career ender. But because Michael Porter had success, and there was one other athlete, I can't remember who they mentioned, who's recently had some success with this particular type of brace, Alex is able to get out there. But it makes sense as to why Alex looks a little slower, can't move around quite as quickly. The only way he can actually do it is with the brace. That somehow lifts his foot up like 5 degrees and allows him to kind of jog around.
Well, if he's on the field, it's a disaster because Kyle Allen's getting the start, and they're hoping that Alex Smith is just a backup. This week, at least as of yesterday, Haskins still hadn't practiced.
Yeah,
So
keep
they
showing
sent him
up
on
to
again yesterday.
He's not in the equation.
He's not in the equation.
I mean, he's a non-factor.
I believe it. I don't think there's any shenanigans going on. He's driving in, showing up to work every day, and they're sending him home.
Well,
So I buy it. I think
Ron
it's the
Rivera
real deal.
was asked about it. He said, "I'm not a doctor."
Yeah,
Right. He just listens to him.
yeah. I mean, it
But like any week, I mean, there's a chance that your starter is going to get dinged up. And Kyle Allen likes to get out there and run. He took some big hits in the Ram game. It can happen again this week. So just be prepared. You might see Alex
Did
again
you
on
see
Sunday.
that Scott Turner actually criticized him for the play where he got hit? He said it was selfish that he
Right.
was going for that extra yard or whatever.
Just get out of bounds or slide, yeah.
He said maybe in the fourth quarter or something, but early in a game like that,
You
so
gotta
they're
have some
kind of
awareness.
hard on him. I thought you guys fighting his balls off, trying to get a first down for you. But
We'll see. I mean, if he plays 4 quarters, then I would agree. I would think he would play okay. I'm not.
I think he's going to be okay. Yeah.
But man, this is just a flip of the coin. I think Gibson has to have a big game.
Gibson
Can-
and McKissick they're going to be busy.
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
are. That's
Can
what he
Kyle
does.
Allen find McLaurin? Can they get to Jones? Maybe create some short fields like they did in the Philly game.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
But you just look at common opponent. So the Rams just completely worked the Washington football team, 30-10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The week before was a 17-9 game against the Giants. Mm-hmm. Now, I know it doesn't always work that way.
Definitely
but
doesn't.
The Giants, held that Rams offense that had a lot of success against the Washington football team to 17 points. So I'm curious to see what happens with the Washington football team offense because they just haven't been moving the ball. They're averaging 290 yards a game. That's pathetic.
Well,
you got some teams averaging nearly 500 yards in the league right now, and they're not even getting to 300.
Well, they've had quarterback issues. I mean, that's
they're also only running for 80 yards a game.
Well, when you have quarterback issues, teams can focus on your run.
You're behind. You're going to throw a lot. I mean, they obviously we knew going in they didn't have a stud back.
All I'm saying is you make a shift at quarterback, and I'm certainly not a believer in Haskins. Allen's got to show more than what Haskins was doing. And so you didn't have much of an opportunity last week. Only had 4.5 drives, however you want to define it. They scored once. He's got to have this team against an inferior opponent. Not necessarily inferior to them, but to the rest of the league. He's got to show that the offense can move. That was kind of the whole argument. We're going with Kyle Allen. He knows the offense better. We can implement more. All right, well, now we got to see it.
I think he will. Why don't you settle down over there?
You're not going to see.
I think he will. You're killing him.
You're not going to see much.
I'm not convinced.
You're not going to see much.
What is your definition of they will? You think they're going to score 20 points, 25 points?
They could score 20, sure.
Their team total is 24. Anybody want to make a wager?
Who's, Washington's or New York's?
Washington's.
That's pretty
I'll take
high.
the under.
Actually, no, I'm sorry.
I'm
It's
thinking
20.
20.
It's 20.
Yeah.
I think,
if it was 24, I'd definitely take the under.
Giants is
23 or
23.
24.
Giants is 23.
Well, that's just disrespectful, but it's fine. I mean,
Disrespectful, it's what happens.
They're just playing bad. But
they scored 10 last week.
I mean, the
week
Giants
before
are
that,
so
they scored
bad.
17.
It's just disrespectful, but it's fine. I think that they're going to cover. I think they're going to do fine.
It is. It is kind of butt disrespectful.
I mean, 0-5 team. They only have 2 touchdowns or whatever it is, and you got to just lighten up.
1-4. It's not like they're
the lowest total on the board, by the way. 43, lowest total.
They're
on the
right
board,
there. They're right there in the mix with the Giants as far as
Who's
being bad.
Who's calling that game?
Well, that's a good question.
I said this last week. It's whoever is
I
dead
hate it when
last on the
Stockton
list.
calls the games.
I don't know.
He's just so botcherific. I like him. I like old guys. I like to see old people. He just makes so many mistakes. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, right. I'm guessing you didn't watch any of the Ravens game.
No, because it was
Ravens
the same
Bengals.
time, right?
Yeah, it was the same time. Well, Greg Gumbel was calling the game, and he called. Oh my God, he called Lamar Jackson Lamar Murray for an entire half.
So what was he doing?
And they never corrected him?
I swear to God, the producer didn't say anything, and then finally Greg comes on in the fourth quarter and goes, "I realize I've been mixing up Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. I apologize."
Right.
It was brutal. Murray back to pass. Murray with a bullet. I mean, it was.
That is tilting.
It was. I thought I was going insane.
Yeah. I can't believe what was going on with the producers. They are lunching.
I don't know. They're asleep at the wheel.
Or he's just completely lost it. They kept reminding him, and he just kept botching.
I'm gonna see if I can find it, but it was for 3 quarters, and they didn't even correct him at halftime.
I don't think it's the worst announcing pair for the Washington football team game. It's Adam Amin, Mark Sareth, and Lindsey Zarniak.
Yeah, I don't.
Right.
I mean,
you know, we're huge
I've never heard of
Lindsey
Adam
fans.
Amin, but I'm sure he's fine.
What's the guy's name? Adam what?
Amin. Adam
Amin. Yeah, I think I've seen that name before, but I couldn't pick him out of the lineup. Well, it is what it is. When you're at the bottom, you're going to get those kinds of announcers.
Yeah, don't wait on. But
I'm actually
Aikman to show up.
While you guys don't care that much, and you're just sort of like, "Oh, this is a dud game." I'm actually excited because I do think they can win, and I think it'll be competitive. And I think Kyle Allen will play okay.
I think you might be one of the only ones looking forward to that game.
Well,
I think fans are. I think
they certainly can win.
No, look, I am because I think that there's some interesting storylines there.
Yeah.
Like Kyle Allen's an interesting storyline for me.
Yeah.
You want to hear Greg Gumbel?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Murray sidearms that one, and that one is complete. Baltimore 3 for 3 on 3rd down on this drive. It's a 3rd and 14 now, and Murray pulls it down once, now throws, and it is caught inside the 10-yard line. Sliding grab made by the tight end, Andrews.
And he's not even correcting himself.
because he doesn't realize it.
Quick snap, Murray.